Now, welcome back, and move on to a new subject here. Depending highly, I think, on where you are and what you do, you may or may not feel it, but the world's human population is getting older rapidly. And the burden that elderly care places on the world's economy, that's growing along with it. Now, over 1 billion people in the world are older than 70. And with the decrease in birth rate, the world is facing that unprecedented challenge. Now, one Israeli investment fund is now focused on startups looking to make an impact in this field, and it's resulting in an improvement in the quality of life for the elderly, of course. And so we're joined by Dr. Yael Benvenisti, the CEO of the Mediterranean Towers Ventures. So certainly, outside the box topic. Happy to have you come in the studio for this. Now, your PhD is in gerontology, as far as I understand. So this is a field you've studied as a science. How did it all lead you into this this venture? How's it going? Tell us about the operation.
Okay, so thank you for having me. Mediterranean Towers Venture is a CVC, a corporate venture capital. We are the first venture capital in Israel that invests in technologies for aging well.
Wow, okay.
We are part of Mediterranean Towers Group, which is a publicly traded company in Israel, operating 3 verticals: independent living facilities and nursing homes, a senior members club, and a fund. But unlike a regular CVC, we are not necessarily looking for technologies in order to implement them inside the company's main business, independent living facilities. We are looking for technologies that will improve the elderly quality of life in general. Why? Because only 7% of the older adults live in some kind of facilities. All the rest, the majority, 93%, are living at home, in the community, what we call aging in place. So our fund is more focused on the home environment. We will not invest in new medications. We will not invest in some new devices for the hospital environment. We will invest only on the home environment to improve the quality of life of the older adults.
What are the types of things, emerging in this environment? I think in reading about this, there's been a huge lack of any kind of innovation. This has not been a sector where there's been a lot of development, a lot of growth, a lot of innovation. So are you finding there's just a lot of room for improvement here? What are the types of things that are having impact right now?
So let's take just 1 minute, and talk about the market potential, because in my opinion, age tech, technologies for aging well, is a little bit underestimated.
Yes, I think so.
So the data shows us that 13% of the world population are 60 years old and above. 7 years from now, in 2030, we will have 16%.
It's only going up.
In 2050, more than 20%. Every 5th person in the world will be an older adult. This has a huge impact on the social service, on the health services, on the financial services. We must pay attention to it. There are 2 facts that we must pay attention. The first one is the segment in the population that will grow the most is that of the 80 years and above.
Wow.
And they consume a lot of services. The second fact is that this is not only that we will see more and more older adults, we will see less young generation. And the ratio between the productive population and the consumer population will get lower and lower. In other words, if we as a society want to continue and provide services to a growing population, and unfortunately we do have a limited budget,
sure,
there's no other solution than to develop technologies or services that are based on technologies, because technology has no geographical barriers, it costs less, it's equal to everybody, and we can monitor the quality of the service. So it's very important, and this is our goal.
Yeah, well, what's the most glaring? Some of the most glaring things that have emerged in terms of, things that companies under your umbrella here have started making an impact. What are you seeing?
So on the way here, I thought, how can I present age tech?
Yeah.
So I wrote to myself 6 main verticals in which we can find technologies for aging well. So it's activities for independent living, communication and social connection, transportation, personal mobility, access to healthcare, of course, and cognition. But what is interesting that in each vertical, we can find sub-verticals. Let's take, for example, activities for independent living. We can find medication management, we can find nutrition, we can find hygiene, and so on. But it's a little bit more complicated, because in each vertical and sub-vertical, we can find technologies for the older adults, we can find technologies for the caregiver, and we can find technologies for the care provider, for the a service provider. So you can see that this is really a huge space with a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And if
people's lives, I mean, it's complex. There's a lot,
Yeah,
there's a lot of
very
variables, and they change as people are growing and aging. And I imagine this highly depends on where in the world too. These we're talking about. It seems like an upward trajectory according to all the statistics, and of course, people are growing older here. Dr. Yael Benvenisti, I appreciate you bringing it to our attention and joining us on the show today as well. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.
For the good of all of us, especially Grandma and Grandpa. So thank you.